He watched her cheat from his office desk and left without saying a word. Mark was a diligent worker who had been promoted to office manager at a prestigious company after just 1 year of working there. He had been in his new position for about 6 months when he started noticing strange things about his assistant, Sarah. At first, it was subtle, like how she would leave early every Friday afternoon and come in late on Mondays. Mark didn't think much of it, but then he started noticing other things, like how she would spend hours on the phone in her car during work hours, laughing and whispering, and how she was never at her desk when Mark needed something from her. One day, Mark was working late. It wasn't unusual for him to stay until 6 or 7 p.m., but tonight he had to finish a report before he left. The office was empty, or so he thought, because he had an amazing view from his corner office. As he looked out over the city, he could see everything. When he looked down, what he saw made his blood run cold. Sarah was in the parking lot with another man. They were kissing passionately in the back of his car. He watched, stunned, as Sarah's husband got into the car and drove away. Was that why she had been so secretive lately? Had she been seeing someone else? Mark felt a surge of anger, then guilt. He shouldn't be watching her like this. He was her boss, sure, but she was also his friend. Maybe there was more going on here than he knew. He shook his head, trying to clear the image from his mind, but it was no use. He had seen enough. The next morning, Mark called Sarah into his office. She was pale and shaken when she heard the news. "I'm sorry, Mark," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't know you saw me. I can explain." "Explain what?" Mark asked, his voice cold. "How could you cheat on your husband like this?" "I've never seen anyone treat another person so poorly." Sarah broke down and sobbed. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I don't know what I was thinking. I'll leave the company." "I quit." Before Mark could say anything, she ran out of his office. As the door closed behind her, he felt a pang of sympathy for the woman. He knew that no matter what she said, he would never believe her, but that didn't mean that he couldn't try to understand. He knew that she had a husband and children waiting for her at home, and now they were all a part of a messy, complicated situation. When he finally spoke, his voice was softer than she expected. "Sarah," he said, "we need to talk about what happened." She looked up, startled by his tone. She had braced herself for anger, not understanding. Was he really going to listen to her side of the story? It seemed unlikely, but she had nothing to lose. So she poured out her heart to him, telling him about her unhappy marriage, about the loneliness that had been eating away at her, about the affair that had seemed like a way out. As she spoke, Mark listened patiently. When she finished, he was silent for a long moment. He didn't say a word, but his eyes told her everything. He understood. He knew that she wasn't the kind of woman who would cheat for no reason. There had to be a good explanation, something that she couldn't control. Finally, he spoke. "I won't fire you, Sarah," he said, "but I want you to get your life in order. You need to fix what's broken before it's too late." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, Mark," she whispered. "I won't let you down." And that's exactly what she did. In the coming weeks, Mark watched as Sarah pulled herself together. She threw herself into her work, and for the first time, he noticed how talented she was, how dedicated, how smart. He had been blind to all of that before, but now he saw it clearly. One day, Mark was working late again. The office was empty except for him and Sarah, who was working diligently at her desk. Suddenly, she looked up, her eyes shining. "Thank you, Mark," she whispered. "I never would have guessed that you were so much more than just my boss. You're a good man." Then she smiled and went back to work. And Mark knew that she was right. He was a good man, and he had done the right thing by helping her.